So this is our second little bit after you've done a bit of warming up, a little bit of mobility on the chair. Don't worry if you can't stand. You can still do some of these exercises seated, and I will show you after. But if you can stand, you can use your chair a bit like a ballet bar if you need it. You might not. So I know lots of people have been doing hour-long classes at the gym or with me in the community centres. We're going to start with our legs about hip distance, and all we're going to do is come onto the toes and lower the heels. I'm not turning my back on you because I don't like you. So, legs quite wide, up onto the toes, lower the heels. The higher you come and the longer you stay up, the more we're working these big muscles, the calf muscles. If you prefer to do it in this direction, just resting your fingers. There's a temptation to grip onto the chair here. Try and stand tall. So if you see dancers doing warm-ups, they actually come onto the tippy toes. We're not doing that. If you're a little bit more confident, just do that without holding on. Or bring the feet together, so the narrower the base of support, the more your muscles are having to work. If you're indoors, you might want to do this without your shoes on, because the bottom of the feet have got lots of balance cells, our proprioceptor system. If you're dehydrated, that can affect your balance badly. So make sure, particularly on a warm day like this, if you're exercising, you've got some water. And then we're just going to stretch what we've done. So you might want to brace yourself on the chair, but you don't have to. Step one foot back and have the heel on the floor, so we feel the pull in the back of the ankle. If you're a little bit more into a bouncy, balancy, swingy abouty, they're all technical terms, you're just leaning onto the sole of the foot and then leaning back, and your front heel stays on the floor and your back toe stays on the floor. So when my hands come away like this, I might want to work the moves a little bit bigger, but the chair's there if I need it. And now we're just warming up into the shoulders, that little swing, but the core muscles are having to work. Change sides. So it is important to just check your space, because if you were used to being in a studio in a gym or anything, you've got nothing around you. In your own home, I have got 4 cats, and the cats often join in, weaving between my legs when I'm doing stuff like this, and it's like you can easily fall over stuff like that. If you want to make it a little bit bigger, that rock forward and back, this is sort of similar to walking in one way. You think about it, when you're walking, one foot comes off the ground before it goes forward. So gentle balance moves will help you do things like that. Talking of walking, we're going to walk on the spot now. So I will show you all these moves in the chair after doing that, but I really recommend you try and do stuff standing, because we need to do that. In one of my classes, I've got a lady in a wheelchair, her son's her carer, but at some point in the day, she has to get out of the chair into bed, out of bed to the loo, back from the loo into the chair. So all of us have to get out of bed, even if you're in a wheelchair. Those of us who are walking around, even with the aid of a walker, you're working these muscles. If your hips don't like it, if your back don't like it, you can make that move a bit smaller. That's a little bit more like marching, but the higher you bring your knees, the higher you bring the arms, the more like an exercise it is. Those of you who are a little bit fitter might want to bring the arms up, a bit like you're climbing a ladder. So what we're doing now is an exercise, cardiovascular exercise, an aerobic exercise, which is fat burning. It oxygenates your brain so you feel a little bit more alert. Fantastic, everybody. So the other move I like to do is a little swing move which loosens your hip. So I'm not going to be kicking my tins of beans here. They're my alternative weight. So you can use a chair for this, and you can swing the leg forward and back. So you want to stand tall, the leg you're standing on, unlock the knee so it's not completely rigid, and think of your arms, the outside leg, the chair you're holding onto, or you might be holding onto a wall, a bit like a swing, and then change sides. So make those moves work for you. If you're very stiff, the moves would be smaller. If you're a bit stronger, you might want to not hold on at all and swing the arms in the opposite way. So that's a little bit more advanced. But the chair's there, or the wall's there if you're doing it next to the wall to help you. And then we're just going to work the upper body slightly. So bend the knees a bit like you're on a small Shetland pony and allow the arms to swing round gently. A bit like a chair plane at the fair. And that rotation is working the spine and the obliques. So it doesn't have to be huge. However, if you like it, you can make the moves slightly bigger. I always say err on the side of caution, little and often. Good work. And then we're just going to allow the toe to stay on the floor and the heel to pivot up. So when you're pivoting, again, we're working balance a little bit and mobility because the weight's on one leg. Anything when your weight's on one leg, like this, you're working the muscles a little bit more. So heels to the bum, stretch the quadriceps, work the hamstrings and your glute muscles. If you're a bit more confident, let's add a little swing back. If your shoulders are okay, add a little row back there. So that's a great chest opener. I'm very asthmatic, so moves like this help the muscles that help me breathe. If you are super fit, you might want to bring your arms above your head. And it's day to day. I've got up on some days during all of this and felt rubbish. Almost that's when you want to do a little bit. Little and often, try and get some daylight, try and get a walk, try and do a little bit more. So if you're new to exercise, you might just do the mobility and a little bit of balance. Our third section, if you've got some beams or 2 weights or a resistance band, we're going to work on a little bit of strength for our third section. So see you then.